In this tutorial, I'll show you how to build a clean and responsive admin dashboard using only HTML and CSS. We'll create the sidebar, dashboard cards, data table, and a modern layout from scratch. If you enjoy tutorials like this, subscribe to DevFix. Inside the body, create a NAV element. Inside the NAV, create an H1 element. Type admin. Below the heading, create the first anchor element. Set the ref attribute to a hash symbol. Add a class attribute. Set the class value to active. Type dashboard. Now create the second anchor element. Set the ref attribute to a hash symbol. Type users. Create the third anchor element. Set the ref attribute to a hash symbol. Type orders. Create the fourth anchor element. Set the ref attribute to a hash symbol. Type settings. Below the NAV element, create a main element. Inside the main element, create a header element. Inside the header, create an H2 element. Type dashboard. Next, create a button element. Type plus add user. Below the header, create a div element. Add a class attribute. Set the class value to stats. Inside the stats div, create the first div, set the class to card. Create a span element. Type users. Create a strong element. Type 1,204. Now create the second card. Set the class to card. Create a span element. Type revenue. Create a strong element. Type $8,430. Create the third card. Set the class to card. Create a span element. Type orders. Create a strong element. Type 312. Now create the fourth card. Set the class to card. Create a span element. Type pending. Create a strong element. Type 18. Below the stats section, create a table element. Create the first table row. Inside the row, create the first table heading. Type name. Create the second table heading. Type email. Create the third table heading. Type role. Create the fourth table heading. Type status. Now create the second table row. Create the first table data. Type avachin. Create the second table data. Type ava@site.com. Create the third table data. Type admin. Create the fourth table data. Inside it, create a span element. Set the class to active. Type active. Now create the third table row. Create the first table data. Type Leo Messi. Create the second table data. Type leo@site.com. Create the third table data. Type editor. Create the fourth table data. Inside it, create a span element. Set the class to active. Type active. Now create the fourth table row. Create the first table data. Type Priya Nair. Create the second table data. Type priya@site.com. Create the third table data. Type viewer. Create the fourth table data. Inside it, create a span element. Set the class to pending. Type pending. Start with the universal selector. Set the margin property. Type 0. Now set the padding property. Type 0. Next, set the box sizing property. Type border box. Now target the body element. Set the font family property. Type system UI. Then type a comma. Now type sans serif. Next, set the display property. Type flex. Now set the minimum height property. Type 100 viewport height. Next, set the background property. Type midnight blue. Now set the color property. Type white. Next, target the NAV element. Set the width property. Type 200 pixels. Now set the background property. Type #1A2D4A. Next, set the color property. Type light steel blue. Now set the padding property. Type 20 pixels. Next, target the H1 element inside the navigation. Set the color property. Type goldenrod. Now set the font size property. Type 18 pixels. Next, set the margin bottom property. Type 24 pixels. Now target the anchor elements inside the navigation. Set the display property. Type block. Next, set the color property. Type light steel blue. Now set the text decoration property. Type none. Next, set the padding property. Type 8 pixels. Type 10 pixels. Type 8 pixels. Type 10 pixels. Now set the border radius property. Type 6 pixels. Next, set the font size property. Type 14 pixels. Now set the margin bottom property. Type 4 pixels. Now target the hover state of the navigation links. Also target the anchor element with the active class. Set the background property. Type #to a 3D5A. Now set the color property. Type goldenrod. Next, target the main element. Set the flex property. Type 1. Now set the padding property. Type 24 pixels. Next, target the header element. Set the display property. Type flex. Now set the justify content property. Type space between. Next, set the align items property. Type center. Now set the margin bottom property. Type 20 pixels. Next, target the button element inside the header. Set the background property. Type goldenrod. Now set the color property. Type midnight blue. Next, set the border property. Type none. Now set the padding property. Type 8 pixels. Type 14 pixels. Next, set the border radius property. Type 6 pixels. Now set the cursor property. Type pointer. Next, set the font weight property. Type bold. Now target the hover state of the header button. Set the background property. Type white. Next, target the stats class. Set the display property. Type flex. Now set the flex wrap property. Type wrap. Next, set the gap property. Type 16 pixels. Now set the margin bottom property. Type 24 pixels. Next, target the card class. Set the flex property. Type 1. Now set the min width property. Type 140 pixels. Next, set the background property. Type #1 a 2D4A. Now set the padding property. Type 16 pixels. Next, set the border radius property. Type 8 pixels. Now set the border property. Type 1 pixel. Type solid. Type #to a 3D5A. Now target the span element inside the card class. Set the display property. Type block. Now set the font size property. Type 13 pixels. Next, set the color property. Type light steel blue. Now target the strong element inside the card class. Set the font size property. Type 22 pixels. Now set the display property. Type block. Next, set the margin top property. Type 4 pixels. Now set the color property. Type goldenrod. Next, target the table element. Set the width property. Type 100%. Now set the background property. Type #1 a 2D4A. Next, set the border collapse property. Type collapse. Now set the border radius property. Type 8 pixels. Next, set the overflow property. Type hidden. Now set the border property. Type 1 pixel. Type solid. Type #to a 3D5A. Next, target both the table heading and table data elements. Set the text align property. Type left. Now set the padding property. Type 10 pixels. Type 14 pixels. Next, set the font size property. Type 14 pixels. Now set the border bottom property. Type 1 pixel. Type solid. Type #to a 3D5A. Next, target the table heading element. Set the background property. Type #0D1B2A. Now set the color property. Type goldenrod. Next, target the last table row, then the table data element. Set the border bottom property. Type none. Now target the table data element. Set the color property. Type light steel blue. Next, target the active class. Set the background property. Type #104A2A. Now set the color property. Type #4CAF50. Next, set the padding property. Type 2 pixels. Type 10 pixels. Now set the border radius property. Type 12 pixels. Next, set the font size property. Type 12 pixels. Now target the pending class. Set the background property. Type #431A. Set the color property. Type goldenrod. Set the padding property. Type 2 pixels. Type 10 pixels. Set the border radius property. Type 12 pixels. Set the font size property. Type 12 pixels. And that's it. Your responsive admin dashboard is now complete with a sidebar, dashboard cards, and a clean data table. If you found this tutorial helpful, subscribe to DevFix for more HTML and CSS projects, and I'll see you in the next one.